Welcome to the Springfield Township Board of Trustees meeting. It is January 9th, 2018 at approximately 5:30 p.m. Mr. Burning, may we please have the roll call?
Yes. Mr. Burning? Present. Ms. McFarland?
Present.
Mr. Honolo?
Present.
All the trustees are present.
Next, would everyone please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The first thing that we have on our agenda this evening is approval of minutes from our regular meeting on December 12th, 2017, our regular work session on December 14th, 2017, and a special meeting work session and organizational meeting which took place on December 28th, 2017. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All
those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Passes. Next, Mr. Burning, do we have a financial report?
If I can get to it. This isn't working like it should. There it is. We got new computers, and I'm not computer savvy, as I should be.
But you're getting there.
I'm getting there.
That's right. That's
the
all
first meeting with him. Fiscal report. Because the financial department is still working to closing out the month of December, because it's the end of the year, the exact figures for the month of December aren't available to me. You can look those up on our website, or you can pick them up anytime during regular business hours. I just want to let everyone know the financial reports are available for viewing at the administrative offices during regular business hours and are available on our website at any time. That's all I have.
Thank you,
we will have a double fiscal officer report next month.
Okay, thank you. Next, moving on to departmental action and discussion items. Mr. Henkamp.
Just real quick, Joe, did you want
a
motion to approve receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures?
Well, do we have those? I don't have them. That's
you
why I
just
don't
don't have the exact December, but you still would pay the request a motion for
okay.
Receipts.
Well, I can do that. I request a motion to approve the receipts, warrants, and payroll expenditures for the period ending December 31st, 2017. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Okay. Just a very short report tonight. Just one action item. We do have a liquor permit request for Dolgen Midwest LLC, doing business as Dollar General Store. That's at 8555 Winton Road. And this would be a new permit. And Chief, I don't believe there's any objections to the issuance of this permit.
We have no issues at Dollar General, and there's no objection to it.
Okay, based on that, I would just recommend to the board that we send our customary letter stating the board is not requesting a hearing on this particular request, this particular liquor permit request.
Do we have a motion authorizing the clerk to send that letter?
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Then under discussion, I know the board is aware, back in, I think it was back in October and November, we had two public hearings regarding our Community Development Block Grant Award programs. There was a total of 6 applications that were submitted. The board did sort of establish a priority ranking for those applications. I am happy to report that we did receive word yesterday that 2 of those requests will be funded over the next 3 years. That's for 18-19 in the year 2020. The West College Hill Neighborhood Services Project will be funded at $60,000 in 2018, $55,000 in 2019, and $50,000 in 2020. And then we did also receive funding for the Glencoe Street resurfacing project that is actually DeSoto Drive in the amount of $150,000. So all told, over the 3-year period, the township will be receiving $315,000. Just note that total in the county, the entire amount allotted was about $3.9 million, and the township's allocation is the second highest amount in Hamilton County. So great job by Chris Gilbert and also Kathleen Kennedy, who worked on putting that application together, getting our fair share again. So,
Mike, I'd like to also state, I was in that meeting yesterday, and again, I had a discussion today about it, but in the meeting yesterday, I was amazed, not surprised, how many other communities were competing for those dollars. And when you look at the fact that some of those communities were rejected because the paperwork was not completed, appropriately. And I just, again, want to just say that we continue to excel with our paperwork here in the township. And I'm just glad that we were able to get what we received, because many communities did not get that due to the paperwork being incomplete.
No, I agree. And this doing 6 applications, I think, was as many or more than we've done in previous years. And all the credit goes to Kathleen Kennedy. She handled the process this year, so kudos to her.
Thank you. Great job, guys.
Yeah, we went over a total of 33 communities that did receive some type of funding, but
How much was the total we received?
the total in the county was 3.8, almost
315
3.9.
was us.
Ours was 315 was our total.
Over 3 years.
Yep.
Okay, great.
And then the only thing, I have the personnel update in our administration. Tamara Kunkel did begin her duties on receptionist secretary full-time beginning January the 2nd. We did accept the resignation of Shane Stiegel, part-time paramedic firefighter, resignation date of December the 7th. And also, I think we may have talked about this once before, we did accept the resignation of Patricia Fuller as a full-time police officer. Officer Fuller is going on to the FBI. Correct, Chief?
Began Monday, yes.
Started her work with the FBI on Monday, but her duties concluded with the township on December 14th. And we did promote Robert Buckmeyer to the vacant position of supervisor in our Public Works Department. His effective date was January the 1st. And then just a reminder to the board, as the board's well aware, as we discussed back in one of our November board meetings, it is my intention to retire from my position as township administrator in active service with the township, as we talked about looking at doing that in the spring of this year. At that time, it didn't have an exact date, and have actually notified OPERS and filed the paperwork, so I do have that date, and that final day will be March the 23rd of this coming year. Obviously, I'd like to do this a little bit more formally as the date approaches, but just to briefly express my appreciation for the many experiences that I've had the opportunity to have with the board, the opportunities to work with not only this board and previous boards, but just fantastic department heads, incredible leaders that we've had in the township, our staff and our employees. It's been an amazing 22 years. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Obviously, I love this community very much, and it's hard to find the words really to express the debt of gratitude that I have for the township and what the township has meant to me and my family for these 22 years. But I think it's the right time, and I'm ready to move on to the next stage of in my career and pursue some different opportunities. So I know we've talked about this, so it's nothing new, but didn't have the official date for the board, and just wanted to make that sort of publicly known tonight.
Did you really say every minute?
There's been a couple of minutes. There's been a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of minutes here and there, but overall, it's been a fantastic experience. It really has.
Mike, on behalf of the board and really all the citizens of the township, I'd like to thank you for all your service to the township. I mean, we are, and I'm not of those 22 years, I've been here for about 21 of them, and I know, Gwen, you've been here the whole time.
The whole time. Mm-hmm.
But this township, so much of what this township is and the type of government that we have, the kind of well-run government we have, is attributable to Mike's actions. And Mike, you've been an excellent leader with all the staff. You've been great to work with, you know, and the thing is with you is like you were never somebody to just say, well, let's just maintain the status quo. It's always been, how are we going to take this to the next level? And it shows. I mean, it shows in our department and all the department heads and in the way this township operates. And whereas we see dysfunction and inefficiency and problems in other governments, we just don't have that here. And we've been blessed for it. And a lot of it's because of, you know, the leadership that you've shown. So we'll have more time to roast you in the future. But I do have to say, yeah.
But I've been very blessed with a great team of board members, great staff. It really.
Well, Mike and I came on about the same time.
How.
So it's been stellar. The years have been stellar. He has pushed, as all of us came in with the same persona, to push to move our township forward, including the fantastic staff that we have here and the officers and the chiefs and the directors and everything with the same goals and aspirations. And I know that you truly are leaving a legacy, and I am very confident that Chris will carry it on and continue to push us and move us forward too, because that's what it's all about, is maintaining the stability of our township, being future oriented, and working with the other communities and schools within our district as well, within our township. So it's good. It's all good, and you're coming at a great time, Chris, as well. He certainly has beat you down and beat you up, so I believe that you'll be able to persevere and keep us moving.
I still live here, so I'll be sitting out there.
I know.
God help us.
We might have to make some new rules.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Very good.
2-minute rule didn't work so well in Coal Rain.
Yeah.
I know the board has copies of the different department reports. Maybe ask Kim to bring us up to date, if you can talk, on what's going on with community events and programs.
Absolutely, thank you. On February the 9th, we're bringing Playhouse in the Park for a free show called Pinocchio. The Daddy-Daughter Dance is going to be February 16th and 17th. We've expanded that to 2 dates. And then March 1st is the Springfield Township State of the Township Community Address. I also have a notice that I wanted to just make the board aware of. The Grove actually is very proud to announce that they have received the 2018 Wedding Wire Couples Choice Award. This is the second year in a row for that award, and it is let's see here. It says Wedding Wire Incorporated is the leading global online marketplace for the wedding and events industry. Annually recognizes top 5% of wedding professionals on Wedding Wire who demonstrate excellence in quality service and responsiveness and professionalism. These are basically based on the comments and the posts from different brides who have been to our site and have made positive comments on their accounts. So congratulations to the Grove.
And we have an event coming up, right, in February?
I'm sorry, what?
We have an event coming up in February.
The Pinocchio?
Pinocchio.
Yeah, February.
Could you just give a brief overview of that?
So that is with Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. We've been partnering with them for the last 5 years, and we run that event in partnership with the Wyoming Fine Arts Center, and that is going to be back at the Grove. It's a free production put on by Playhouse in the Park. It's the little kids show that everybody recognizes, you know.
In pajamas.
Yeah.
In pajamas.
Oh, it is a pajama party. That's right. Yeah, and everybody can wear their pajamas, the parents and the kids, and we'll have crafts and snacks after the event and parade around in our jammies.
Thank you.
That's good. Thanks, Kim. Joe, the only other thing I have is just at the end of the meeting is to request that the board go into executive session, and that would be to discuss the employment of a public employee.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Moving on to the resolutions this evening. The first resolution we have is resolution number 7, 2018, determining necessity for road improvements pursuant to revised code section 5573.01 on Lakeside Drive, Lakeshore Drive, Lake Park Drive, Jack Pine Court, Chatterton Drive, and Wind Lake Drive, and authorizing statutory actions required for such improvements. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next, we have resolution number 8, 2018, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
You can tell it's winter. The list is not long.
No. Yeah, exactly. Next, we have resolution number 9, 2018, declaring motor vehicles located on public or private property in Springfield Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, to be junk motor vehicles pursuant to Revised Code section 505.173, and ordering the removal of such vehicles pursuant to resolution number 80, 2012, and Revised Code section 505.871. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second it?
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Ms. McFarland.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Okay. Next, do we have any old business this evening?
I do not.
I have none at this time.
Okay. Do we have any new business?
I do not.
I would just like to congratulate Mr. Honolaw on being our chairperson for the next year and to the township. So you guys, if you have any issues, talk to Mr. Honolaw. So congratulations.
I draw the short straw.
Some would say.
Yeah. No, thank you, Gwen. I'm happy to do it. You know, the only thing, I suppose under new business, one thing we could talk about is we are working with the Hamilton County Land Bank and the Port Authority to try and get title to the property of the old swim club down behind Brentwood Shopping Center. There's an expedited process by which the county, for abandoned properties where they're delinquent in taxes, that the land bank can take title to the property, and then we're going to be looking for ways that we can develop that property in the future. But that's something we're doing that Chris has been working on, Chris Gilbert, to alleviate blight in the neighborhood. Any other new business?
I have none.
How about under citizens' participation? Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address the board? If you would, I would ask that you come up to the podium and you state your name and address. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Chad Engelman, 871 Finney Trail. Just want to introduce myself. I was elected to the Finneytown Board of Education last November and started my term January. I have been nominated by the board to be the township rep. So I'm here tonight to give you an update on some situations that are happening, very exciting times in Finneytown. The state of Ohio has given Finneytown the news that they will pay up to 52% the cost of new facilities for our school district. And we received that offer about 2 years ago. And we are at the point where we need to accept that offer or it could potentially lose it. So the board has decided to start a community outreach program over the next 3 months. We are going to hold a series of community forums, and we've put together a bunch smaller committees to determine if the community of Finneytown is willing to and wants to build new school buildings in our school district. Of course, the board will take the community's reaction before we vote on this. And the timeline as follows is we need to present to the state of Ohio a master plan at the end of March. So we have 3 community outreach forums scheduled. One is January 18th at the Performing Arts Center secondary campus from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The second is February 22nd at the Performing Arts Center secondary campus, 6 to 7:30, and the third will be March 7th. And everyone in the room is invited to come and participate, even if you don't live in Finneytown, as your representatives of the township. The next 3, we have 3 board meetings beginning of the year, January 16th, February 20th, and March 19th. And we just picked those dates, and our website has not been updated to reflect those yet. We've contracted an architectural company, SHP, to run this process for us over the next 3 months. And SHP specializes in doing school buildings in the state of Ohio. They have a section of their company that's dedicated to do this discovery process. So this discovery process, we did not have to go to bid for that. We were able to directly contact SHP, and they're going to run this 3-month discovery process. At the end of that, they will create a master plan for us to submit to the state if the voters and the citizens deem that's the path forward. And then at the end of March, we present to the state a letter saying, yes, we're going to take you up on our offer. This is our master plan, and we will then vote to put a bond issue on the November ballot. As of now, we do not have an answer to the question of what we're going to do. That's coming out over the next 3 months. The community will have input whether we build 1 building, 2 buildings, 3 buildings, 4 buildings. The architectural company will let us know what the laws are regarding how the state will let us use the money. And since we will take state money, we have to follow their rules. So to answer the obvious questions, well, where are we going to build? We don't know yet. Hopefully by March, we will know, because we have to be a part of the master plan. The state won't give us the money unless we tell them what we're going to do with it. So it's exciting times over the next 3 months. This is going to be fast and furious to get this done. Typically, this is a 6-month process, and we're going to truncate it into 3. And if the community wants to, we'll put the bond issue on a November ballot and run forward with that. The community, if this process we determine the community is not willing to do this, then we're not going to do it. As a board, and I myself as a board member, we have to take into account what the community wants. So I will be attending your meetings over the next 3 months, giving you updates as we go. Terry, the superintendent, has been sending out all of these dates via social media, and I'm sure you received email with these dates. I would love it if you guys had a presence, the township had a presence at these meetings. It would be great to see the support. And eventually we're going to have to partner to make this work. I think we have exciting times coming up because the state mandates you have to build 50-year buildings. So when you think about it, we're going to potentially build infrastructure that's going to take Finneytown for the next 50 years. So this is, in my opinion, really exciting times. So I'm here tonight to give you these dates and invite you to these meetings to attend, to give us your opinion, and I'll report back to you as we go.
Very good. Chad, thank you very much.
Do you guys have any questions now? I mean, obviously as a board member, I can't talk for the board, but I can try to do my best to answer any questions you guys have.
I only have one, if I may, board. Do they tell you how long you have to pass the bond levy? So
no, they do not.
So how many bites at the apple do you get before they say?
Let me say, we have 6 years to use their offer. So we can accept the offer. Once it's accepted, we have 6 years to say, we're ready to do this. Okay. The thought is, if we're going to get this train up and running, we're going to run with it. We could wait a year to go for a bond issue. We could wait 2 years. But the consensus is, if this is what the community wants, we're going to try to run with this bond issue this November for the first time, if it passes. And that's if the community wants this. So, and then there's going to be, so the architectural company will do this master planning process, and then they are off contract. And then if we do decide to go forward, we will have to send the architecture out to bid for the planning stages. But, okay.
Very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
No problem.
Congratulations, Chad.
Great, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Alberta Hemsley. I'm a contented resident of Edgemont, which is a part of Springfield Township. I mention it to people, and people don't understand that Edgemont is a part of Springfield Township, but it is.
What's your address?
My address is 1305. My card is coming around, I think. 1305 Woodland Avenue, 45237. I've been a resident of Springfield Township since '87, which makes this my 31st year. And I have to tell you, for the most part, I have been very happy. When my brother had a stroke, the emergency service was wonderful, and I wrote a very nice hope letter to thank you guys, because you guys were just wonderful. I mean, it literally changed my brother's life, being helped by you guys. It was very important to me. What I'm here about today is to support David Hughes and his effort to keep order wild. I want to speak just briefly on three little things. Two of them have photographs with them, and a third is just a story, but I shouldn't be too very long. My first story is the colored photograph that went around that shows 9 children and 1 adult. When my dog Rover ran away from the circle that I walk at Warder Park, my dog escaped. His name was Rover, and he was true to his name. And I got a call back because, knowing that the dog runs off, I had my phone number on his collar, and this lovely person from the back of the park called me because the 9 children that you see in the photo had found my dog, and he had happily gone up to them and loved them, and they loved him. And the mother called me, and I came and picked up my dog. And I took that photo, and the next day I went back with 10 photos, one for each of the children and the adult, thanking them for bringing my dog back to me. I just want you to know the neighbors around this park know that the park is there, and they appreciate it. The 9 kids are very aware of the park, and I was really happy to get my dog back. The second photo is a photo of me using the park with 4 of the 6 dogs that we were walking with that day. It's in the winter where the snow is pretty deep, and we came anyway because we love that park and we use it extensively and appreciate having that park. The third is just a story that I'm thinking of actually writing a children's book about, that has to do with some wildlife that was at the park. I was following 2 adult Canada geese, and they had 6 babies. And from the time they were the size of a baseball, these little geese were following their parents around the lake. I was also following, from even before the geese were born, the story of the 2 mallard ducks. And the mallard ducks had 10 babies. Now, as time went by, I started to notice that the father duck was gone. And the baby ducks got a little bigger. Then the mother duck was gone. And there were 10 parentless ducks. And those ducks adopted the parents they adopted the geese. I wanted to take them all home, but I knew that wasn't right. But they just naturally adopted themselves out to this these geese. And I think there's a turtle, a snapping turtle in that pond, because then 2 more of the baby geese died, and there were 4 left. And they were down to 8 little ducks, but the 8 little ducks kept on coming and following those parent geese. And I followed them the entire summer. And let me tell you, the 8 little ducks followed those geese for the rest of the summer. The geese wanted no part of those ducks. They tried to not be there, and the 8 little ducks followed them anyway. Smart little things. And at the end of the summer, the 4 geese babies flew off, and then I followed. I think I have a photo of the ducks flying off. So we had some. I followed those ducks, and I was really pleased that any of them survived, but I think 8 of them actually made it. I love that park, and I want you to support it. And I know you have concerns about developing our community, but I want you to keep in mind that there are those of us who really love Water Park, and we want to keep as much of it as we can. It's important to some children. It's important to many of us adults who really enjoy having that piece of wilderness here. So I want to just say, keep water wild. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board this evening? It appears that there is not. Do we have a motion to adjourn this part of the public meeting and move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment of a public employee?
So moved.
Second it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You individually.
I think it's got to be individual.
Mr. Burney?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Harlow?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Well, do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Just did.
Okay, I guess that is part of it.
We can open the
there you go.
executive.
Yeah, we did. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you all for coming.